Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like a stranger was staring back at you? Someone whose eyes have lost their spark. Someone whose shoulders carry a weight no one else can see. You wake up, another day. The alarm rings, the sun rises, life goes on. But inside, you're stuck. You wonder, what's the point? What's the point of trying when nothing seems to work? What's the point of speaking when nobody really hears you? What's the point of being here when it feels like you don't matter? If you felt this, you're not alone. That we live in a world that measures worth by numbers. How many likes you got? How many followers you have? What your bank account says? What car you drive? What job title you hold? And when you don't fit the mold, when your life isn't Instagram perfect, you start believing the lie that you are less, that you're a loser, that you're useless. I get it. Not in a cliche, motivational speaker on a stage kind of way, but in the way that remembers what it's like to sit in your room at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling and feeling like you're drowning in silence. It happens in small moments, doesn't it? You see your friend get promoted while you're stuck in a dead-end job. You scroll through someone else's vacation photos while you haven't left your room in days. You hear your family talk about your cousin who just bought a house while you're behind on rent. And every little thing chips away at you. You start comparing, and comparison is a thief. It steals your joy, your peace, your sense of enoughness. But here's something no one tells you in those moments. Feeling useless doesn't mean you are useless. Feeling worthless doesn't mean you have no worth. Feeling like a loser doesn't make you one. Feelings are not facts. Think about it. Is a flower less beautiful because no one's there to admire it? Is a song less powerful because it plays in an empty room? Is a sunset less breathtaking because no one posts a picture of it? Know your value exists whether or not someone else validates it. Your worth is not up for debate. You matter, even on the days you don't feel like it. Let me tell you about a man named Vincent. Vincent van Gogh. He painted over 900 paintings in his lifetime. Do you know how many he sold while he was alive? 1.1 painting. He died believing he was a failure, a loser, a nobody. Today, his art is priceless. His legacy is immortal. Maybe what feels like the end for you is just the middle of your story. Maybe the things you're building, the kindness you're offering, the quiet battles you're fighting are shaping a life that will mean something far beyond what you can see right now. You see, we think life is measured in big moments. Graduations, weddings, awards, but life is in the small moments. It's in choosing to get out of bed on a bad day. It's in calling a friend when you'd rather disappear. It's in making someone smile, even when you feel broken inside. Those tiny, invisible acts of courage, they matter, and so do you. You know, sometimes the weight of feeling useless doesn't come from big failures, but from 1,000 tiny cuts. You forget to return a text. You miss a deadline. You burn dinner. You get overlooked in a group conversation. And in those little moments, something inside you whispers, see, you can't even get this right. It piles up day after day until one night you're sitting in your room, maybe scrolling, maybe staring into space, and it hits you. I'm not good enough for this world. And that thought is one of the heaviest weights a human heart can carry. Let me tell you a story. There was this guy named Sam. Sam wasn't special in the ways people usually admire. He wasn't rich. He wasn't famous. He wasn't especially smart or athletic. What Sam was tired. Tired of never being noticed. Tired of watching his friends move on while he felt stuck in place. Tired of pretending he was okay when he wasn't. One evening, Sam was walking home from work. It had been one of those days. The kind where everything felt heavier than usual. The kind where the sunset looked like an afterthought. And just as he was about to cross the street, he noticed an elderly man struggling with his groceries. Without thinking, Sam walked over and offered to help. It wasn't a grand act. It didn't go viral. It wasn't filmed for an inspirational video. But to that old man, in that moment, Sam was a hero. And that's the thing nobody tells you. Sometimes, your worth shows up in the smallest moments. Moments so ordinary, you don't even realize they mattered. That we wait for these grand, movie-like turning points. But life's most important scenes often happen when no one's watching. When you choose kindness over convenience. When you show up for a friend, even though you're barely holding it together yourself. When you keep going one more day, even when you see no light at the end of the tunnel. Let's talk about comparison for a minute. That we all do it, even when we know better. You see someone your age who seems to have it all figured out. Perfect job, perfect relationship, perfect apartment with plants that don't die in a week. And you think, why can't I be like that? But what you don't see is the full picture. You don't see their sleepless nights. You don't hear their inner battles. You don't know the price they're paying for that curated image. Social media shows us highlight reels, not behind-the-scenes bloopers. And comparing your unfiltered life to someone's edited version is a losing game. There's a quote I love: "Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. You're on your own timeline, your own messy, beautiful, complicated journey. And it's okay if it doesn't look like anyone else's. Maybe you feel like a loser because you haven't made it yet. But what if success isn't what you've been taught to believe it is? What if success is getting out of bed on a day you didn't think you could? Asking for help when your pride tells you not to? Choosing to stay alive for one more sunset? That matters. You matter. Have you ever watched a sunset completely alone? No phone, no audience, no one to prove anything to. Just you and the sky. In that moment, did the world feel a little quieter? A little softer? Did you feel, even for a second, that maybe, just maybe, you were meant to be here? Because you were dead. I want you to think of the people in your life. Even if it's just one person, maybe a friend, a sibling, a stranger who smiled at you once in a coffee shop. You've impacted people you don't even realize. Your kindness, your presence, your humor, your resilience, that you've left fingerprints on hearts you never knew you touched. And you will again. You might feel useless now, but this is not your forever. Storms feel endless when you're in them. But no storm lasts forever. The sun doesn't forget to rise. The ocean doesn't forget to calm. And your heart won't forget how to heal. Point one day, you'll look back at this version of you and feel proud. Proud that you made it through nights you thought would swallow you whole. Proud that you kept breathing when it hurt. Proud that you were gentle with yourself in the middle of the war in your mind. Let's talk about being enough. The world keeps moving the finish line. When you get one thing, it asks for another. When you reach one goal, it raises the bar. But you were enough before you ever proved a thing. You were enough when you were born. You were enough the first time you fell down. You are enough in your moments of silence, of loneliness, of unseen strength. And anyone who tries to convince you otherwise, they don't get to define you. You are not a failure because you feel like one. You are not a loser because life feels heavy. You are not worthless because you're still figuring things out. That you're human. And being human is messy. It's raw. It's imperfect. And it's still beautiful. That if today feels like too much, promise me one thing. Not forever. Just for today. Stay, breathe, drink some water. Open a window. Let the sunlight touch your face. Put your hand on your heart and feel it beating. That's purpose. That's proof you're still here. That's a reason to keep going. And tomorrow? We'll worry about tomorrow when it comes that you're not useless. You're not a loser. You're not alone, that you're a storm survivor. A quiet warrior. A spark in the darkness. And you are loved. More than you realize. By people you know. By people you don't. And by the world, just for being here. So, here we are, you and me, at the end of a long, honest conversation. I don't know your face. I don't know your name. But I know your heart. Because it takes a certain kind of strength to sit with this kind of heaviness. To listen to words that echo the ache inside your chest. To admit, even silently, I felt like that too. And before we part ways, I want you to hear something. Not just with your ears, but with your soul. You were never meant to be perfect. You were meant to be real. And real is messy. Real is insecure. Real is uncertain. Real is brave. And you are braver than you believe, because bravery isn't the absence of fear. It's feeling terrified, worthless, small, and still showing up. It's waking up on a day when your mind screams, "What's the point?" And answering with, "Maybe today I'll find out." It's carrying on with a heart stitched together by hope and exhaustion, that it's knowing you might fall again, and getting up anyway, that's who you are, even when you forget, even when the world tries to tell you otherwise. And if no one's told you this lately, Let me be the one to say it. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the battles you've fought quietly. I'm proud of the nights you've endured alone. I'm proud of the tears you've wiped away in silence. I'm proud of the ways you've kept your heart soft in a world that can be so sharp. You are not useless. You are not a loser. You are not worthless. You are a story still being written. And every chapter, even the dark ones, are part of the masterpiece you're becoming. So tonight, before you sleep, promise yourself one thing. Promise to stay, not because it's easy, not because it suddenly makes sense, but because your story isn't done yet. There's a sunrise waiting to paint your face. A stranger who will smile at you in a way that softens your chest. A song you haven't heard yet that will feel like coming home. A conversation you haven't had yet that will remind you why you matter. And you deserve to witness all of it. Listen, the world is better with you in it. Even if it forgets to tell you sometimes. Even if it overlooks your quiet victories. Even if it measures worth in ways that miss your kind of magic. You are enough right now, as you are, without needing to prove, perform, or pretend. And no matter how heavy it gets, no matter how lost you feel, there's always a way forward. Maybe not a perfect one, maybe not a clear one, but one step, and then another, and then another. And if no one walks beside you, I'll be there in spirit, rooting for you, believing in you, waiting for you to remember what I already know, that you are worth it, that you matter, that you are loved. Always. Good night, fighter. Rest easy. We'll rise again tomorrow.